Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 288. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. What's up,
Mike? Hey. No interview this week. Most likely some technical difficulties, folks. But we'll be back next week. I think we'll most likely have a double interview, so we're going to make up for it. Two guys, hopefully.
Probably have 2 episodes next week, but we will see.
We'll figure it out. You've come a long way. You got enough interviews. Go back and listen to another one from like 4 years ago and catch up. I don't know.
Yeah, go re-listen to like the one with Derek Robertson. That's a good one.
Yeah, which one?
Screw up his name in the middle of it. It's fun.
Yeah. Go listen to Jeff Lemire. That was quite a while ago. Wonder where that dude is. It's not like he made it big or anything.
He's in Canada somewhere, hanging out, watching hockey.
Yeah, or like Stephanie Phillips. A lot. You know, Stephanie Phillips traveling the world, can't talk to us anymore. She's all over the world. What's up with that? Yeah, but what's going on with you? Anything new and exciting?
Busy. I've barely watched any TV.
Yep.
Read some comics though.
Nice. Yeah, you had a lot of catching up to do for comics. Yeah. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I bet they went and saw Black Adam. No, we didn't. It's This is one of those episodes. This is a freebie, folks. So
I will try to see Black Adam this week. It was just too busy this week, or last week, to go to see it. And like everything I was hearing from my people I trust and friends who were just like, it's okay. I'm like, all right, well, that's not the best review.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Rock movie, so right there, I think it caps it at like a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes, just from that alone.
Yeah,
we're not all in it for the Rock's acting range, everybody. We're in it for this gigantic dude to punch people, to rip people's arms off, which I see in the trailer, so that's pretty much all I'm expecting. And then I want to hear Dr. Fate talk about some mystical shit. That's really all I'm in it for. If I get anything else besides that, whatever. I'm not looking for some philosophical enlightenment or to change my life. And I know it's not... I mean, looking at the reviews, I don't even know if the dialogue is coherent, but we'll see. But I'm going to enjoy it either way. I've been looking forward to this for a while, so...
Yeah, I'm sure just having JSA will be fun, but we'll talk way in depth at next week, because I'm sure you'll try to find time as well to see.
Yeah, if I go, it's going to be like Sunday at like 11, the matinee before everybody's up and about. While everybody's at church, I'm going to the Church of Black Adam. So, some good things. I mean,
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I mean, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. When you think about it, Black Adam really is kind of like Jesus. He like gets put away in a tomb and comes back and like saves his people.
Could shoot lightning out of his hands.
Yeah, I don't know if Jesus ever did that. That would be wild.
Dictator who controls the entire country. Yeah,
that would be wild. Like Jesus came to his disciples and he zapped them all with lightning, obliterated. Yeah, I saw they did release like an extended version of that scene where he like fries the dude, where he's like holding him and fries him with lightning, and then he like rips another dude's arms off. So I was very happy to see that. And then it's just crazy to me that like we live in a world where they're interviewing actors, and the actors like in the dialogue of the interview are saying like, I would love to see more JSA characters. It's like it's like mind-boggling to me that this is like the JSA is in people's mouths, that like people that aren't just like at comic shops talking to the comic shop people. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Mike has been fighting for years, everybody,
yeah,
to get JSA anything. Like he would have taken a JSA cereal box.
Oh, hell
That's how much he just wanted a JSA something. And now to hear like somebody famous be like, yeah, I really think the JSA like has a future in film.
Yeah.
It's like porn to him. I know. Yeah. I don't even have to see it. I know that's what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's like, wow. I could just get that on a loop of like The Rock saying like, the JSA are here to stay, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
It's like Randy Marsh, the computer.
Yeah. Now, if you start talking Alan Scott, or you say like, okay, we're giving you Dr. Midnight or something, like, I mean, okay, I understand you gotta keep the group small. I'm obviously you got Dr. Fate there. He's a heavy hitter. Cyclone, not so much, not everybody's favorite, but I get it. Hawkman, yeah, you gotta have Hawkman. Hawkgirl, though. I like Hawkgirl more than Hawkman. Hawkman's origin's too fucked. And then, Dr. Midnight, the blind doctor, sure, why not? Yeah.
I want to say this knowing Farewell that I say this a lot, and then it comes true. But I'm still going to say it, meaning this full well. I will be shocked if we ever get Alan Scott.
Yeah.
I think it's too confusing for a normie to have two different kinds of Green Lanterns. Because, you can...
Unless it happens, if there's a Green Lantern show, like they had talked about originally, maybe we get a dude shows up who's retired for, a split second. That's, okay. Yeah.
When I say I'll be shocked, I mean, Alan Scott who breathes in a big bong rip and then gets power, or no,
steam.
Sorry, that was that's Flash.
Yeah, that's Flash. Yeah, that's Jake.
Alan Scott who's on the train and gets mystical powers and then is invulnerable to a number 2 pencil.
Yeah, the dude finds a lantern.
Yeah. I'll be shocked if that's the one we get. If we get him as a throwaway during the Green Lantern movie, be like there was a guy back in the 50s, Alan Scott. I'd be like, okay, that I believe.
It's like an after credit scene, and they're cashing out at a 7-Eleven, and he's like, "Oh, this one's on me, kid." He gives him a power bar, and he's like, "Thanks. What's your name?" And he's like, "Alan," and it says Alan Scott on his 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Now scram, punk.
Because even the Flash, I'll be shocked if we get the bong rip Flash, who's just takes in a giant rip and just I can now run real fast, guys.
Well, they did that on in the Flash show. They talked about that. I don't know if we ever saw it, but they were definitely how'd you get your powers? And he's like, oh, steam doesn't matter or something. Yeah. I remember something like that happening, and I was like,
but then they just connected them to the Speed Force. It was kind of a throwaway line, but in reality, it was just no, it's Speed Force.
Yeah.
Which they've done in the comics too. I know, nerds. Calm down.
Yeah. Things we've never really thought about back in the day was when people were writing comics. They're how do you use powers? I don't know. I breathed in steam one time and I passed out for 15 minutes, so maybe it gave me powers. I don't know. Steam. Well, I have a cold and steam cures my sinuses, so why not? Why can't it give you super speed? Fuck it.
There definitely was no heroin in the steam. Don't worry about it. I can just run real fast now.
They were dosing something, putting it in a vaporizer. Yeah.
That's the story DC won't tell. The steam was actually just a bunch of LSD, and all of the entire Golden Age DC universe is just the Flash tripping balls during MK Ultra.
Wait, didn't wasn't one of the iconic JSA covers is it's the Justice League on the front of the cover, and there's a puff of smoke, and they can see the JSA and the puff of smoke. You know what cover I'm talking about? It's an iconic cover.
Yeah.
They're just doing some fucking drugs, and they're like, whoa, I see this version of me that has he's wearing a bowl on his head, and he's breathing steam.
Batman's just mad. Why isn't there another Batman? What the fuck, guys?
We got this blind dude who has goggles that can make him see, and he calls himself Dr. Midnight? What the fuck?
Can we just cancel this podcast, start a new one that's just Chris and Mike retells comic history?
Yeah, we're just gonna go through it character by character. Batman is gonna keep his gun and never get rid of it back in the 40s.
And then Batman claims he'll never use a gun again. That's going to be a lie, folks. He uses lots of guns. And then
he actually becomes War Machine towards the height of his career. He murders Joker's girlfriend, and Joker becomes the hero of the story.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And he's almost like a Lex Luthor character, and he hates tech. So he's like a crunchy granola tech guy. Man, this shit writes itself because tech killed his family. So why? And then I don't know. He somehow dresses like a clown, and I don't know. Someone else a lot smarter than me could figure this shit out. But
fix that in post. It's fine.
Fix that in post. Sean Murphy did something a lot cooler than that with his White Knight shit. So I'm sure someone can figure it out. Yeah, when we don't have interviews, things go off the rails. Things become unhinged. Yeah, and here we are. I do have a purchase I want to talk about, Chris. I don't know if you've seen these out in the wild.
Oh, I recently purchased something too that I could probably throw into this conversation.
Oh, okay. So, you know what an advent calendar is?
Yes.
There's a certain, I think it's Costco specifically. I've seen these other places, but Costco is known for having like crazy advent calendars. I got my hands on a couple advent calendars this weekend. One was Harry Potter, and the other was Marvel Comics. I don't know if you've seen these, but it is an advent calendar that you open up.
Is it a Funko branded one, or is it like a
no, just Marvel?
Oh, okay. I've seen Funko ones where you get like little mini pops in them.
Yeah, this is cooler because you get little mini comic books.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you see Chris's joy in his face right there? Yes.
I do like comic books.
Hell yeah, brother. Sign me up. Yeah, it's no, this is awesome. There's a bunch of different ones, but I don't have it with me. It's like in storage now with all the Christmas shit. But you open it up, and each day has they're like mini stories. I'm guessing they're comic books, but they're like, I don't know, this big, about the size of maybe 2 business cards put together for the people who listen to audio. What is the size of a business card, Mike? I don't know. Take 2 magic cards, put them together. Okay, playing cards, whatever have you.
What's the size of a magic card, Mike?
Well, okay, so take a piece of paper, take a piece of writing paper and cut it into a fourth, and that's about the size. What's the fourth? I don't know. Figure it out. Grab a ruler or some shit. But I will say it's pretty exciting because I mean everybody loves the candy, and you get a bunch of candy around the holidays, whatever, or cookies, what have you. But this time you're getting comics, a little mini comic. Now, me personally, I'd rather have a DC, but DC sucks and they don't do anything fun, so I have a Marvel.
That's correct.
Advent calendar. Yeah, no, they're like, you want fun? Fuck you. You get a Scooby-Doo cartoon special on HBO Max. We're not giving you
nothing dark and gritty about fun, guys. And we're dark and gritty.
Why would you get an advent calendar? Batman doesn't have parents. You should feel bad for him.
His parents are dead. You don't get an advent calendar.
His advent calendar is going out and fighting crime every night. Batman's advent calendar, he opens it up and he pulls out a paper, and it's like stop a hijacking day 1. Day 2, the next one's like, I don't know, stop a murdering spree. He's like, oh, this year's gonna be a good one. Yeah, but anyways, there's advent calendars out there, Marvel ones. You might even be able to find it on Amazon. I know Chris is going to look it up right after the show.
Yes.
And maybe we could read them together. That'd be interesting. We'll have little mini comics to read on the show every week in December.
That's a solid idea. I will look this up, and I will see if it matches the one you have when I look it up. Yeah,
send me a picture or something, or I'll find it on Amazon. I'll send it to you. I know you have a Costco near you, and I don't know if you have to belong to Costco.
You have to have a membership, yeah.
Yeah, I do love Costco.
So I've been looking for like a month and a half now for do you know of the Batman manga?
Yes.
Or the Bat manga, if you will.
The Bat manga, yeah.
So I read about it, and I heard that it's like very 66 Batman-esque.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, like this would be cool to read.
Yeah.
You currently can still find Volume 1, and you can currently still find Volume 3. But it's very hard to find Volume 2.
It's so weird.
And I randomly came across somebody who had all 3, $35 the whole set.
That's awesome.
Bought it. It's on the way. So that'll be in my reading list, and probably next year, because it's going to go at the bottom of the pile.
I love that, and I can't remember who the artist was, but I read the first one a long time ago, and it is like 60s Batman. They reprinted it back in I feel like it was 2016 or some shit, right?
It's definitely New 52 because I was looking at the cover, and it's the folding D logo.
Yep.
So it's got to be around that era, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I remember seeing it, and like, oh shit, there's Bat manga. But I was reading so much stuff at the time. But yeah, that's a good point. They never reprinted after that. Now you're making me want to go find it. So
yeah, I'll give you a warning now. 1 and 3 are easy. And what's great about that price I gave you, 1 is like $20 on Amazon. 3 I found on a few stores for like $35. So to get all of them for that, I was like super excited.
Yeah. I've been reading. Speaking of manga, I'd already told you this because it's October. I've been reading more Junji Ito stuff. Mm-hmm. I started reading Uzumaki last week, everybody, and this is like if you find a listed horror shit with Junji Ito, Uzumaki is like the top one that he did. I read a bunch of short stories by him that are really creepy, but Uzumaki is about like this town is like has plagued by these spirals. These people obsess over the spiral shapes. So like each chapter, I'm only a few chapters in, but like people like there's some weird body horror shit where like one guy is so obsessed with the spiral, he like spirals himself into like that shape and like kills himself, and it's just really creepy shit. So very, very much getting me in the mood for Halloween, but it's and that stuff's all available too. They have some really nice hardcovers you can find at your local comic shops, and it's a collected edition. It's really good shit. It is tough to go back and forth between comics and manga though with the reading style. Like I'm definitely slower reading backwards than I used to be. I used to read so much manga, but
I actually think I'm faster with manga. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, like I can go through a volume of manga in a night without issue.
And I think there's a lot more action, art speaking for action rather than like heavy dialogue usually.
Definitely, yeah.
There is another one. We'll get into the news after this, but there is another one I wanted to get into because the anime is out too. It's called like Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man? Yeah, I read the first volume of that a while back.
I think you told me about it and you liked it, right?
Yes, but I don't understand why it's so popular. And maybe I think at the time even I said I probably need to dig deeper into this series to understand its popularity.
Yeah.
But like it was good enough for I'm like, oh, this was enjoyable, but not good enough for I was like, I really need to get into volume 2. If that makes
I keep hearing crazy good things about it, yeah. So
yeah, it's one of those things that perplexes me, and I'm just thinking maybe if I get volume 2, like something happens that like kicks in the gear.
I'll probably end up checking it out. Like once in a while, something comes along, like One Punch Man, where I'm like, okay, I can't ignore this anymore. I gotta watch it and get caught up. So. Especially
I'm actually feeling that way with One Punch Man. I was thinking about picking up the manga of that because it actually got explained to me in a way that actually intrigued me. Because like just the description of like he punches him with one punch and it's done. I'm like, that sounds dumb. Yeah. But a friend of mine said it was like kind of it was them critiquing manga and anime. Like it's basically making fun of things like Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, whoa, that sounds interesting. So
yeah, and it's kind of like a superhero-esque.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like Goku level strong, but and he has that urge that Goku has to constantly fight, but there's nobody of his strength around, so he's just kind of wandering around trying to figure shit out.
And the gimmick is like, how did he get his strength? He literally did like 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups a day, and that's what he tells everybody.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. I will check that out. So one day I will check that out. Yeah.
Nice. As far as TV, a little bit of a slump. I haven't watched Andor yet. I'm still getting through Midnight Club. Midnight Club went from being very scary to being very sad. I mean, we're dealing with teens in hospice care, so you can imagine there's going to be some sad shit. So we're like in the middle of an episode right now on 7 or 8 where it's like, fuck. It's like it's really tough to get through just because you're like the characters are amazing and some of them are gonna die. It's just how it is. But the way they do it, I mean, they don't just kill a character off. They spend a whole episode killing a character off, and it's like, it hurts. It hurts, but it's good.
Did not really get a chance to watch Andor this week, so I'm 2 episodes behind now.
Oh, okay, so it's still going on,
as far as I know. So after we recorded last Sunday, I finished Dahmer. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a moment at the end. So I told you throughout it, like they don't show his killings, like they don't show him doing the murders.
Yeah.
But then spoilers, everybody, for an event that happened 30 years ago. At the end, like one of the last scenes is him being beaten to death in jail, which is what happened to him. And you see every second of him getting beaten to death in jail, which like really sends the message of like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, he's not the hero. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Which
I was just like, I sat there and I was stunned. I was like, that's such a bold move of like, we're not going to show any violence or death. Like we hint towards things. And there's a few violent moments, like he hits a guy with a weight in one scene, and it's his first kill. Yeah, but like it's not one of the like uber violent, like he stabs a guy open and eats him deaths.
Yeah, right.
But other than that, like there's no violence throughout the entire show. But then for him to be beaten to death on screen with you guys watching it, it's like holy fuck! Like they really wanted. So yeah. Anyways. Amazing show. If you're into that kind of thing, I know like Mike isn't.
Not for me, but
yeah. And a lot of people I've actually had a hard time because I've been like, I want to talk to somebody about this.
Yeah,
everyone I know is just like, I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying because it's bad. Everybody, I talked about it before. I heard it's very good. I think it's a little problematic that people are dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween this year. I've heard about it happening, so that's
which they address in the show.
Oh, they do,
because that happened to him when he got arrested.
Oh, people were dressing up like him.
Yeah, so they addressed that kind of stuff in the show, which is kind of meta to think that now it's come back full circle.
Well, you think about it; it's an easy costume for people, right? Glasses and like a sweater.
Yeah.
But don't do that, folks. Just don't do that.
No, he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, it's fine if you're like Mike Myers or like Jason, because those are like, they're pretty much action heroes at this point, as far as like evil murderers, but like those are fictional characters, right?
Fictional
characters. People who don't watch video, Chris's cat Greedo is being very, very loving and just chilling and hanging out on the podcast with us today.
Been fine the whole day, and now that I'm recording, it's like I'm gonna come over here and yell at you.
Yeah, it's because he just wants attention. Yeah. Don't we all? Let's just take a minute.
I want someone just to hold me and pet me too.
That's how we got. Maybe you should. That's why you're really watching She-Hulk, wasn't it?
Yes. I was open with the like. Listen, so to everybody out there, I'm 6'1", like I'm a tall person. Yeah. And even other men I meet are usually the same height or shorter than me. Like it's rare for me to run into somebody taller than me. There is definitely a kink somewhere in my life of a taller woman. Just throwing that
She-Hulk.
out there.
It's She-Hulk. You just won't admit it.
So like, I'll fully admit that that's part of that. Yeah,
She-Hulk. That's why you're so aggressive about the show.
That's why I'm so mad about it.
Yeah, we know your true feelings. That's pretty relevant to an ad we're going to be talking about later. Shameless plug. Sorry, we have ads back, folks. Movies, though, this is pretty interesting, and we talked about you sent me something this week. Rumors have been swirling about Mephisto being casted in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now it seems it's more than just rumors. From reports across the film industry, including Deadline, pretty reputable source, it seems that Sacha Baron Cohen may be cast as the MCU's version of the Devil, aka Mephisto. Fucking love it.
It's I sent fucking cat.
I can see him.
I sent you a thing, and it's just an oddly perfect casting. Like I don't know how it works so perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm down. And apparently it's going to be an Ironheart. That's where he's going to pop up. So we'll see when that's done. But yeah, I was blown away by this casting.
Yeah, I think it's funny because he's such a. He can be like, he's not going to be fully serious, but he can be a little like not over the top joking like Borat style. But I could see him like being playful, like a playful Mephisto. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, he can play that like that menacing but like puppeteering kind of character. Yeah.
Almost like when what's his name did The Collector.
Yeah.
I think that was Benicio del Toro that did The Collector. Yeah. In Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, some more DC.
Quick announcement. We're recording this on Sunday, everybody. The Phillies are going to the fucking World Series.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So everybody knows.
Yep, that's why Chris has his Phillies hat on. Phillies going to the World Series. We've been waiting for it. Congrats. Chris and I are baseball fans. We won't talk about baseball because it bores a lot of people, but I'm happy for you. It was reported this week after 15-year DC film boss Walter Hamada is stepping down from his position and away from WB. Walter has been with WB and DC Films for 15 years too long, but has only led the brand since 2018, starting with Justice League. Yeah, I mean, like, we got someone new in. It's time for him to go. He wasn't making the moves and the changes we needed. Like, he was playing it very safe, and I feel like that burned us a lot of times. So hopefully this is good news.
So he's not responsible for the Snyderverse thing?
Yeah, right.
But he is responsible for the terrible decision afterwards to be like, let's just do solo movies, which I know some DC fans defend, but like, guys.
Yeah.
It's just not a good idea. And yeah, with them wanting to go back and making this new decision, like it needed to happen. So yeah, I mean, the dude's rich, so I don't feel bad that he got fired.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely has millions of dollars in the bank. So it's not one of these situations where, like, I don't root for someone to get fired, which I don't, but I don't feel bad that he does.
Also, I mean, with the whole Black Adam thing, The Rock in interviews has been kind of shitting on the old executives at DC, saying that, like, we've been trying to do this for 8 years and finally we got this through, like, what the fans wanted. So there seems to be, like, he's been approaching DC for a long time and couldn't get anything done. And I mean, The Rock clearly has the fans in sight when he does shit like this. So it's interesting that he came out and was saying stuff like that in interviews. So
yeah, and there's also a lot of negativity around that era too. And going back to Ray Fisher and what happened with, I mean, he just had upper management, but which we got to assume that this guy is a part of. I mean, he had to have been a part of that upper management thing. And then Jeff Johns and Snyder and that too. So yeah, it's kind of a good idea to clean house and just start anew. Even if your plan is to kind of do a retcon and move forward, as opposed to a full reboot.
I agree. And before we get into comics, I think we got to chat about something here from Chris, everybody.
Yeah, so everybody, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Online Therapy. So we all know that recently I've been on a journey to be more physically fit and lose weight, but there's another thing you should all be thinking about as well as your physical health and as your mental health.
Yep.
And you can do that with BetterHelp Online Therapy. Unfortunately, life does not come with a user manual, so when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a tour guide of the complex engine that is you. BetterHelp has connected with over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient, secure, and accessible anytime, anywhere, 100% online. Now, I have not personally been in therapy or used BetterHelp, but I do know people that have and have used it, including family members, and it helps with coping skills, self-empowerment, just dealing with the issues and the bullshit of life.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
All of the bullshit of life.
All the bullshit.
I can speak for family members who went through trauma at a young age, and therapy helped them get their way through it. So everybody deserves to feel their best. BetterHelp can make it easier to get started. As the world's largest therapy service, they've matched millions of people with professional, licensed, and vetted therapists available 100% online. All the benefits of in-person therapy, plus it's more convenient, more accessible, and more affordable. That's the big one right there.
Yep.
So all you gotta do is fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Get unstuck with BetterHelp. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/fortresscomics. Everybody, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/fortresscomics.
Nice.
So what do you say, Michael? Let's talk about some comics.
Yeah, and I just want to say the one thing about BetterHelp, it's like push-ups for your mental health. You know, just keep doing that and sit-ups for your mental health, and then one day you'll be like One Punch Man.
You just push-ups for your brain. Yeah, you'll be like Professor X. Your brain will be so strong you can move things with it.
Yeah, brain blast. But no,
I'm pretty sure BetterHelp doesn't promise that to anybody, so don't hold us to it.
No, they don't. Don't hold us to that. I've asked. They've blocked me. So here we are. Chris asked me if I used our discount yet. I did not. I got blocked.
This episode is brought to you by DCeased Batman, The Audio Adventures Season 2, available on the podcatcher of your choice. Gotham City, a seething cauldron of crime and corruption about to boil over. In the long shadow of Two-Face and Penguin's combined criminal might, Gotham City is gripped in two fists of passion and terror. As Harleen Quinzel bulldozes a path to her heart's desire and Scarecrow floods the city with new and improved nightmares. Tune in for a tale of life and death in Gotham City, starring Jeffrey Wright, Rosario Dawson, Bradley Whitford, Gillian Jacobs, Kenan Thompson, Bobby Mahoyan, Chris Parnell, and more. Stream DC's Batman The Audio Adventures Season 2 now on audio and HBO Max.
So let's talk about comic news. Batman The Adventures Continue will return January for a third installment with a 7-issue series. Great, because I fucking love this series. The series will be written once again by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini, but will feature a new artist, Jordan Gibson. Jordan will be taking the place of Ty Templeton, who during the second installment of the comic was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, has since been diagnosed as cancer-free in the recent months, but he's got a lot of shit going on in his life, a lot of bullshit. So he's going to step away. We got Jordan Gibson on the art. The story's been amazing, so we got Alan Burnett, Paul Dini still on it. I cannot wait.
I want to add that second part, just to say, fuck yeah, Ty Templeton, get good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really happy that you're feeling better. Hopefully season 4 you can jump in.
Come back, yeah.
I love this series so much as you do. Mm-hmm. And even the weird issues where we bring back Jazzman, I'm just like, yeah, let's do it.
What do you mean? Like, that's my favorite issue. What the fuck you say weird issues, bro? What are you calling me out right now? I love that issue. That was my favorite part of the book.
It was a good issue, but I'm saying, like, even when they bring back weird, stupid villains like Jazzman, I'm just like, this is awesome. I love this. So I'm ready for this. Yeah,
I'm in it for the weird, stupid shit that they wouldn't put on prime television.
They did put Jazzman on prime television.
Yeah, they did.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. They definitely did.
And he was less cool then than he was in the book, and that's saying a lot.
Dude, do you think they'll bring back Grey Ghost? Oh my god, I wish they'll bring back Grey Ghost.
I hope so, because, dude, they reference Grey Ghost a lot, even into, like, if you watch Beyond, like, Grey Ghost appears in Beyond, not as Grey Ghost, but, like, just Bruce having his Grey Ghost, like, merch.
Yeah, having the merch,
Yeah, like, it's so awesome. I hope so.
I don't know if they could, I mean, we don't have Adam West around anymore, so I don't know if they could do the voice, but... it's a comic. Yeah, it's a comic. Yeah, I know, we're talking about the comic, but... Oh man, Grey Ghost is my favorite episode. For those of you who don't know, Grey Ghost was basically an episode of Batman animated series that was based on Adam West's life and voiced by Adam West, this hero, the Grey Ghost. Fucking phenomenal writing. It's amazing.
And the day of Adam West passing, everybody, just some Fortress of Comic News lore. Mike and I were at a con. We found out about the passing. We went home, and that was the first thing we watched?
I think so, yeah.
Because then we watched the Surfer episode.
Yeah. Where Batman punches a fucking shark. Yeah. Amazing. Anyways, Archie Comics announced this week that they're releasing a one-shot comic called Archie versus the World. The comic is said to be a mix of Archie and Mad Max style post-apocalyptic feature. The one-shot will be written by Aubrey Sitterson and art by Jed Daughtry. yeah, if you're an Archie fan, I don't know where they go from here because they pretty much have done it all, right? So you go post-apocalyptic.
I'm probably gonna buy it.
Yeah, because it sounds pretty cool.
It sounds awesome.
It sounds pretty cool. All this Archie shit coming out. I don't know. Have you watched Riverdale?
No, my ex was really into that show though.
So I haven't watched it, but I've heard some friends have watched it and have dropped off. The shit they were telling me that the show became like they're now doing like the Archie and the Afterlife stuff right now.
Oh,
like some of them are dead. There was some weird cult that was like a D&D club that ended up being like some weird ritual cult and all this shit. And it's I can't even describe it here because I haven't watched it, but it's absolutely bonkers the stuff they were telling me because I was like, I thought it was just a teen drama in high school, but no, it's like they actually took all this shit from the comics.
It started off as a teen drama in high school because like I remember the first season, like it was all about like there was a murder mystery in there, so there were some dark tones to it.
Yeah,
but like it was all about Archie was like some dude just like banging all of his teachers, and I remember just being like, "What is this show?" And then like Jughead's in a motorcycle gang.
Yes.
I'm like, there's part of me that wants to watch this, but a part of me that's just like, I don't know what this is, and I'm afraid it's a soap opera.
Yeah, the things I've heard, it just goes off the rails. It's absolutely insane. So
yeah,
good on anybody that's still watching it. But yeah, I love Mad Max, and this sounds something really cool. Putting Archie in that world.
I'm definitely picking this up.
Yeah. All right. Now we can talk about what we read this week. I know Chris read quite a bit. We could probably both talk about Batman the Night #10, wrapping it all up. And It's funny because Chris last week, everybody, if you listen to the episode, he asked me, he goes, Mike, who's this Ghostmaker? Is it the same dude that's been in Batman the Night? Well, there's the reveal in this issue that, because he had a completely different name, but the dude that's hanging out with Batman, training with him, is actually Ghostmaker. So, yeah, that was like the big reveal. And okay, we understand Chip Zdarsky. Okay. Nice, touche.
I was talking to a friend who was like lamenting about how writers pick up a series and they don't like implement things from the past as much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he brought up Chip, and he's like, Chip and Batman's done a really great job of like extending the lore and not just like hitting a reset button and doing his own thing.
Yep.
And this is just more proof of it. Like Chip is one of the best in the business at sequential in-universe comics. Like I love his indie stuff too. Sex Criminals is amazing. I'm really enjoying Public Domain, what we'll talk about later. But like when he does this stuff, he just kills at it because he knows how to take the cool things from the past and use them to tell a new story.
Yeah.
So yeah, this series is really great. I really like that moment because that was one of the first things I read coming out. I'm like, I was right.
This book was an origin story of Ghostmaker and Bruce's relationship. We just had no idea.
Yeah.
If they would have pitched it to me, I probably wouldn't have read the book, to be honest. But the way Chip did it was he's fucking great. One of my favorite books, DCeased, War of the Undead Gods, Tom Taylor and Hairsign on the art. This is a pretty fun issue. Because, it starts off talking about Adam Strange. Yep, there it is. Talking about Adam Strange coming back to his family, but he comes back to Ron as a zombie. So he's like eating his wife and kid. It's really fucked up. And then Lobo's just trying to enjoy a beer at the bar. And, he's there drinking a beer. And then the plague kills his bartender. And so he gets pissed, and apparently he can't be turned, so one of the zombies tries to bite him and he doesn't get turned, so now he's invested because they killed his bartender and he's pissed.
Yeah,
so he's in the fight.
I've been wondering for a while with this series when Lobo was going to be a thing, even in the previous ones, because it makes sense. Lobo can't be turned,
right?
It's just like, I mean, in Marvel Zombies they fudged it, but if you did Marvel Zombies, you could make it so Wolverine can't be turned.
Right, exactly. Ares shows up at Wonder Woman's funeral, and he like knows a bunch of shit about what's happening, and there's a funny conversation between Ares because he gives the bow of Apollo to Green Arrow, and he's like, "I need to tweak it," and he's like, "Fine, whatever, tweak it." And then we find out it's not actually Darkseid behind everything; it's Erebus, which is a pretty cool reveal because Erebus is the personification of darkness in like Greek mythology and shit like that. So I thought that was a pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty cool reveal, and Ares seems to know about it. So I thought that was a cool conversation.
Yeah, really like this issue. Love this series.
Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kid, #6, Jeff Darrow, Stewart on the art. There's this is like a Western Japanese cinema samurai book. So this is amazing, crazy fight scene. So he killed the younger brother of this guy that wants to fight him now, and he transformed into this like giant millipede, mutant guy thing that he has to fight. And they have an epic fight across the city with just amazing art by Dale Stewart. So yeah, it's just the book is just art and amazingness and a little bit of dialogue, but I think it's just a lot of fun. World's Finest, Mark Waid, Dan Mora.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool until the Joker reveal, to be honest. We got this new story with a new villain called Key, and they're trying to figure out the powers for Superman's new sidekick. And we learn about the trauma of his home world and how he's not a lot of help. He has some PTSD and stuff when it comes to fighting and helping others. And then we find out the new villain Key is working for Joker, which is, I don't know, I feel like that was just a boring reveal.
Yeah, it was a reveal that I think Waid really wanted to hit, and for me too, it didn't, because we've talked about a lot. I'm kind of sick of Joker. I've been reading a lot of Batman stuff recently, and the fact that there is no Joker has been really nice. Through all of it.
Right.
I mean, I went through and just wrote down the books I read this week, and 4 of them are Batman related, and that was the only one that had Joker in it.
Nice. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like the sidekick and everything, and I like the little tease that they're giving out that this is going to be somebody we know. That didn't happen in the comic, but it's happening in Twitterverse and everything.
Oh, so it's going to be a hero that we know?
It's going to be a character that we know that exists currently. So I'm interested now more that we have kind of a twist on this, who this sidekick is.
I wonder if it's going to be a Legionnaire or something.
That's what I was thinking too. But because it is Mark Waid, and that led to Mark Waid doing Legionnaire.
Yeah, Legion of Superheroes. Step aside.
Well, I think Bendis has done it DC.
Bendis, yeah. Step aside, Bendis. We got Mark Waid on Legionnaires. Whole handle the Gold Lantern.
Yeah, well, because Bendis got just handed a bunch of money by Dark Horse, so he'll cry with his millions. But
right, exactly.
I'm fine with that.
The Joker. We haven't seen him what he's going to do with the Joker, so we'll see how this pays out. But the reveal at the end that it was Joker, and Joker was the leader. I was like,
yeah, okay.
Joker isn't like that. Joker doesn't have villains working for him like that. I don't know. It was just a weird thing.
Joker's one of those characters where he is what they want him to be.
Yeah.
That's why everyone has their favorite version of Joker.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it just didn't hit. It would have hit so much more if it was any other villain.
Yeah, anybody. Really. Goddamn.
Codpiece is coming to Doom Patrol. Come on.
Yeah, I know. We saw it. We saw it in the trailers, everybody. And then the last book I had this week was Flashpoint Beyond #6, wrapping up Flashpoint Beyond. Interesting. It was there you go. It was holding Jeff Johns was holding all the reveals for the last issue. You just got a flood of information. The Flashpoint world was in the snow globe. The whole reveal that Batman had set this all up with the Time Masters to be my dad, Thomas Wayne, isn't going to make the decision to hop in the time sphere with Joker and fuck everything up. He's going to make the decision to stay and help the world. And so the Time Lords are kind of like proved wrong, and they let him keep his snow globe world. And now we have like a world with Thomas Wayne and Martha working together to fight this like Kryptonian invasion and the Time Hunters. The Time Hunters make some like weird ominous thing that like the Time Hunters are like, oh, don't worry, Batman's gonna have to deal with his mother's family soon, which makes me think Court of Owls,
maybe,
or the Arkhams, because we know it's Martha comes from the Arkham.
But all I know is that it was kind of disappointing that this whole series was just a way to get Flashpoint to be in the multiverse.
Yeah, it was. And then he starts talking, and then the end. We see Nostalgia, who people don't know who Nostalgia is because they never talk. She appeared in like one of the Watchmen or the Watchmen tie-in books, where she gets Ozymandias' cat, and I can't even think of the cat's name, the red cat, and she becomes obsessed with the Watchmen, and then she talks about how maybe she's looking for Dr. Manhattan. It's like, Jeff, dude, nobody cares anymore. Like,
just stop.
If you're gonna do something with Watchmen, you missed your opportunity to do it back during the Watchmen's the Doomsday Clock series, and you should be done with it.
It continues to fail over and over again, so just stop.
Yeah,
that's my thing. If they could do it well, I'm not like a Alan Moore stan who's like, you shouldn't do it because it's wrong. It is wrong, but like they're gonna do it, so
yeah.
Why am I gonna get mad about it? I just say stop because it seems like it's a cursed IP and nobody can do it. Unless I've been there for every Watchmen thing.
Unless someone's enjoying this shit, because like it's just weird. There's no ties to Watchmen this whole book, and then they just throw this in at the end. And I was fine without it. Like I was okay. We have a Flashpoint world. I think it's cool. Thomas Wayne and Martha are working together to kill Kryptonians. I'd love to see a story about that. But I don't care about what's going on with
please
this thing.
Jeff Johns, I'm begging you. Do not bring the Watchmen into JSA.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't do it, please.
I don't look into the camera often, Jeff Johns. Don't do it.
He's looking at you, Jeff Johns. I'm even terrified. I had to look at him. But yeah, I mean, that's what I had to read this week. But please, Jeff, don't do that.
So I'll just quick from last week. You talked about Jurassic League. Really liked it. There's 100% another series coming because that ending was too perfect to not do another series.
Yeah.
Census number 2. You talked about that again. Really liked that issue. It was a lot of fun. Red Seven Sons, really enjoying that series. Once again, not going to jump too far into that, but just a really good indie series that I'm enjoying. And then Batman versus Robin. I read issue 1 and 2 and enjoyed it. Like, I like the twist. Did you read issue 2 yet?
No, I did not. I haven't read that yet.
So I enjoy like how it's tying into what happened in Batman and Superman. I like the fight. Obviously, I'm a Damian Wayne stan, and I like the tie to Batman 666 as well. So, yeah, really good. Batman One Bad Day, Penguin number 1. I don't know why I'm torturing myself, Mike.
I won't even read him. I won't do it.
So apparently the guy who holds the umbrella for Penguin takes over Gotham, and Penguin decides, hey, I'm going to take that back from him. So he finds some randos and kills this guy and takes over Gotham. The moral of this story, which is a terrible moral to the story, is that Batman is basically a pawn in Penguin's game. That Penguin's the one that really holds the balance of Gotham. And the only reason Batman accomplishes anything is because Penguin allows it. Terrible. I'm going to keep reading them because I hate myself, but it's fine.
Love it.
Forever Forward number 2. Really, really like this issue. We get the the fascist robots in this issue. We get a major death, and I like the time jumping concept that Kaplan's doing here, and the art's really fantastic. So I hope everyone's reading that from Scout Comics. Another former guest, Hyper Aware from Jonathan Hedrick.
Nice.
Enjoyed it. If you remember from talking with him, this was like a con submission or like a submission for a award or something that he did with a friend, and it feels that way because it's a one-shot story. You can read this and you're done. The story's enjoyable, but the way the story goes with this these people in space needed to go into hyper sleep and what happens through it, it's really a cool twist at the end. But yeah, it feels like something that was presented for like an award or something. If that makes sense. So, but yeah, really good. Everybody should check it out. One issue. I like one shots.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, this was also from last week. Daredevil number 4. Daredevil and Lasher get married. The end. Moon Knight number 16. Moon Knight finds this like ancient Chinese vampire that is in the city now, and is kind of afraid of the new vampire clan that's fighting Moon Knight. And we find out like kind of the politics of the different vampire clans, and how this new one, his whole plan, if Moon Knight doesn't kill him first, which he will because the good guy always wins, is to basically unite all the vampire nations, including Dracula's nation, under him and take over the world. It was a really cool book, but it was a lot of like two people sitting at a bar talking. So I really enjoy that shit, but it was a very long read. Moon Knight's really good. Captain America: Symbol of Truth number 6 is a good issue to start a new story. Basically, like a diplomat comes to the United States, gives a speech. Sam was tasked with protecting her and fails, and that leads to a conflict with a new villain called the White Wolf. Book's cool. Good. I like the Steve one better, but it's still good. And then Public Domain issue 5. So the family has decided to make this new comic company, and they're going to make Domain Comics. And we end up finding out that a character we've met throughout the series, who's like a neighbor of the father, who was the co-creator of Domain, is like a tech billionaire, because that's how the story works. And he ends up funding the entire operation because he wants more of these comics. And it kind of ends with them like, yeah, let's make comics together. And it was really fun and enjoyable up until this moment where, like, I've been wanting to talk to somebody, like a friend who draws, about it, because it came off weird to me. The father sits down and draws a picture of the Domain, and it's wonky, but it's just the pencils. And then his son just comes down, like, inks over it, and is like, here, this is better. I didn't like that moment because it felt weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But still a really good book, and I really recommend Public Domain to people. And I don't know if this is going to keep going or not. I've been trying to look up, see if there's more issues. And then I also started reading some Jonah Hex comics. I read All-Star Western Volume 1.
Awesome.
For research purposes, hint, hint. And really enjoy that. I also like just Western stuff is stuff I don't really dig into that much. So it's very different for me. But it was cool that like this version of Hex takes place in Gotham. So it's like the old West man coming to the big city for the first time.
Yeah.
So I almost think you would really like it. I don't know if you've ever read it before.
I think there was some crossover in 52. I feel like he shows up in like the Swamp Thing run or some shit.
Maybe, yeah. Because like the characters you meet are the architects of Gotham. So you meet like an Arkham, and you meet like all these characters. It was really cool.
Okay, cool.
But I still, so I'm reading through that, which has been fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to check it out.
Yeah, I recommend it. Mike, that is everything I had this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at FortressComicNews.com. Remember, everybody, to give us the 5-star review on whatever podcatcher you use, to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below if you are listening or watching the YouTube version. And if you want to go the extra mile, there's always the Patreon at patreon.com/FortressComics. Also, the Amazon affiliate link in the show notes down below. And since we're be sponsored this week, everybody support the sponsors. When you support them, they continue to support us, and we appreciate it. So everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening this week, and we'll see you all here next week.